So what have we got planned for the next few months? Well, over the next few weeks, we're planning to finish off the cockpit and paint out the aft cabins. Then we really need to focus on getting the keel box finished and the keel reinstalled and the chain plates done. The reason those things are priorities is because the mast support post sits on top of the keel box, and so the keel has to be back in place so we can refit the support post and work on the interior during the winter months. So there's absolutely loads of interesting and challenging work coming up over the next few weeks, but this week is a little different. We got married last week and are heading off on our honeymoon next week, so I'm sure you can understand that boat work has taken a slight back seat. And then this week we visited the Southampton Boat Show, which was actually really useful as we were able to pick up some brilliant ideas and blatantly steal some concepts from other amazing boat makers and interview some incredible people. So stick around, because even though there isn't a whole lot of boat work on Melody this week, the episode is really fascinating. And if you're interested in what I'm doing here, which looks a little bit random, what I'm doing is starting to make up the seat slats for both the cockpit floor and the cockpit seats, so that we can see where the brackets need to be to hold those down, so that we can then take them back off again and paint out the whole cockpit in epoxy. So this is all going back up and then coming back out again for painting. And now look, it's absolutely pouring down with rain, and the wind's picked up to about 25-30 mile an hour. So working outside in the cockpit is an absolute no-go. Do not go away, because there's lots more in this episode with us visiting the Southampton Boat Show coming up right now. And just like that, we are at the Southampton Boat Show. Look at that for a sight. I think that's just the entrance way, but there's lots of interesting stuff to see.
So we're going to go and explore.
We're going to go and explore. We are press, apparently. We're reporting on the show. Well, we're reporting on the show to you guys, aren't we? The 60,000 or so of you that watch us. In fact, while I'm on that subject of 60,000 of you that watch us, there are 60,000 of you subscribed to Sailing Melody, which is amazing, and we love that. But our viewer ratio is something like 80% of the people watching Sailing Melody are not subscribed. And if you're one of those, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because 80% of the people watching are not subscribers, which means that we would have loads more subscribers if everybody subscribed. Anyway, there you go. Somebody want to buy us this for Melody? That'd pull our anchor up, wouldn't it, Jack? That's even bigger than Ian and Nat's. Boat that we want to have a look at, the Moody 54 DS. DS stands for deck saloon, if you didn't know, in the boating world, and deck saloon basically means a pilot house. So we're going to have a look at this. It's a different thing to Melody, but because we also have a pilot house, it's not a bad idea to steal ideas if we can. Cockpit first, I think. I'm not going to even pretend to do a boat review on this. We're not Captain Q. You're not being Captain Q today, are you, Jack? No, we're not doing a boat. We're not doing a review. We're just having a look round. Reckon we could cope with this size boat? I reckon we could make it work. Yeah, this is nice. Morning. Morning. Have a look around. Thank you very much. Yeah, the sliding canopy. It's definitely something I've thought of, you know. This is John from Moody. Hi there. And this is a very stunning boat.
I bought this boat over myself from the factory.
Ah, right, okay.
I'm taking it off to her new owner in Ireland in about 2 weeks' time.
Oh, fantastic.
With him.
Do you need crew?
No, he's all right. He's bringing his family with him. Okay, and
I bet you've been asked that all day. I'll just have a look in the aft cabin.
That's all right. That's the smallest of the
Oh, this is the smallest of the cabins.
The outer cabin.
Yeah, this is the smallest cabin. Tiny, isn't it? Terrible. Couldn't cope with this. From a beautiful, crisp, modern, moody, which we absolutely adore, to a very different sort of yacht. Spirit yachts are simply the most stunning yachts you'll ever see. They're not designed so much as blue water liverboards, but they're designed to do two things: sail impeccably and look incredible. They have absolutely zero compromise on quality and craftsmanship, and we had the opportunity to interview the man who commissioned the very first build of the Spirit 44. Yeah, this is the Spirit 44, all electric.
So I commissioned the first edition of this particular boat.
Yeah.
And then this one, he was inspired by me and commissioned this one. I've had the boat in the water for 2 years, 18 months now in Canada, in Western Canada. I've done about 3,000 miles. Like this one is pure electric.
Yeah.
And but I do have solar on the sail as well as on the deck.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to enhance that further. The first step, we wanted to be a little conservative and see how it went. Before we invested more time and effort and money in the sail, but it's worked really well. We learned a lot, and we're going to reconfigure the panels on the sail to optimize the gain there further. And it's very complementary because I was just explaining to another gentleman that the deck solar works best at this time of the day when the sun is high, but the sail works best. It gives you the complementary time at the beginning of the day. And at the end of the day. I mean, I sent Karen a photo. What I learned cruising last summer, was if I was on anchor and I was in mild conditions. I mean, even 8-10 knots of wind like this, you just keep the main sheet loose so that the boat doesn't drive itself off the anchor. And I leave the sail up halfway so it exposes the solar panels.
And that helps you keep head to wind as well, slightly on the anchor.
And I mean, even at docks, I've been able to do that when it was calm or when there was just a little bit of wafting breeze and keep the sheet off. And I literally have been able to watch the first rays of the sun come, and then on a clear day you will get maximum production right first instant of sunrise.
That's amazing.
And same thing at the end of the day, right till sunset.
So what kind of material are they then?
The panel or the sail? The sails are composite sails, same manufacturer. One sail. And then the panels are they're so-called thin film solar. So this is kind of semi-flexing. These are actually bent in the curvature of the hull, and that's fine.
Are they covers over the panels, or is that the actual panels?
That is the actual panels. There's just a layer of plastic over to provide anti-skid.
Who are they made by then?
Solbian. So the two of them together is over 400 watts.
So there's 400 watts there, and with your sails, you've got about probably another 400 on the sails.
We're going. The configuration wasn't quite as well designed electrically as we thought, and so we're going to reconfigure them. But we think we can get to at least 500 to 1,000 watts on the sail.
Wow!
That's crazy.
And we're initially cautious about putting solar below the reef points on the sail. But I've just had a meeting the other day with the sailmaker and thinking it through with my partner, we realized that the foot of the sail actually is very stable, and there's a way to configure it so that it'll just flake very nicely when we take the sail down.
I see.
We can keep the panel away from the cinching point of the reef. And we think these boats have very long boom.
Of course.
So we think we can get 8 or 10 feet of length right at.
And you do it between the reefing points. That's absolutely fascinating.
And then your engine's fully electric, is it?
Yes. Exact same configuration of this boat.
Have you got regen props as well.
This system, this Ocean Vault servo prop system, is the most effective hydro generator that anyone's designed.
Yeah.
And that actually can generate more power than the solar.
Wow.
I mean, when the boat's doing more than 6 knots, 6-7 knots, I mean, you can generate a kilowatt from the motor.
That's incredible.
I mean, it even goes above that.
Yeah.
I mean, it keeps going exponentially.
Yeah.
Power consumption goes up exponentially, but the generation capacity.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So the nice thing when you're motor sailing is you've got power coming from everywhere coming in.
That's incredible.
The best way to engineer an electric sailing yacht is to design a great yacht.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because the wind is still your primary motor.
Vincent, lovely to meet you.
This is Captain Jack.
Captain Jack.
Oh, notice in particular when you get to see the aft cabin how much room you get there because of the diesel.
Yeah. Of course. Oh, I love the satin varnish.
Yeah.
What do you think Captain Q would think of this, Jack?
How you all doing?
Hiya,
Good, thank you.
That's amazing. What a great little cabin as well.
Yeah.
Cabin and chart table.
This is what they've got for their cooker setup, darling.
Just a microwave.
It's a
It's a multi microwave induction hob.
Yeah, this is what we're going to go for in ours, this kind of setup.
So it's a yeah, I remember from the other day.
What a stunning vessel. Well, yeah.
She's a beauty. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Appreciate your time. Take care. Thanks for showing us round. Wow, how lovely. What nice people they are at Spirit Yachts.
Yeah, definitely.
What a lovely guy Vincent is. Look at this. They're just gorgeous.
So yeah, Spirit Yachts, if you ever want to invite us out for a sail, we'll happily join you.
Oh yes, yeah. We will come out with Spirit and come sailing and do some more videos about Spirit Yachts. They're beautiful.
Definitely.
This is the boat for us, the Weldgas 40C. This is personally my dream boat. Yeah, Weldgas has always been my dream boat. I've wanted one forever and ever and ever, and money no object, this would be the boat that I would have. Or the 50, which is that. But that's crazy money. They all are. We're never going to be able to afford one of these. But we'll see what ideas we can steal from Melody. Hi, this is our kind of boat.
Yeah, mine too.
Not that.
Similar to ours, yeah.
Exactly the same.
Well, the same principle.
Same principle, same design.
Ours are a bit smaller.
Just a bit. Not much, actually.
Right, Captain Jack. A large wheel.
Well, I could make these in an afternoon on our boat. We're on the Scanstrut stand, and if you remember from last week or the week before, something like that, I was fitting a load of these Scanstrut glands.
I've also got a present for you guys today.
Oh really? We've got a present from Scanstrut.
We've got your new USB charger.
Wow.
Let's try out.
Look at that. Look, Jack, open this up. That's a USB charger. Amazing. Thank you very much. So apart from all of the seals, they do all this kind of stuff, phone mounts, USB stuff, wireless charging, clamps and holders for your iPad and all your devices. There's one charger, and you just put it in there and it charges. And then there's another one here, look. You put it in there and that charges. And then there's this option, and then there's this option, and they're all wireless charging areas. And this is the clamp system that they use, which looks fantastic. Fact checking, this is Verity from Scanstrut. You remember I fitted one of these DS multis on our two places on the boat actually, and I mentioned the fact that if you put them in the freezer and freeze them before you drill them, they drill easier because it makes the rubber colder and harder, and apparently that is absolutely true.
Yes, it is a fact.
Yeah, there you go. It is a fact. One of these. Look at these for davits.
Me too.
You may have noticed some boats have kind of a floppy wing thing on the back and wondered what it is. Well, it's actually part of a system that can steer the boat using the wind, and we're proud to announce that we're actually partnering with Hydrovane to put a Hydrovane system on our boat. So it was great to meet up with Will from Hydrovane at the show. Guys, we're on the Hydrovane stand. We're meeting up with Will, and you don't know this yet, but we've actually bought a Hydrovane for Melody. We're going to be fitting that in a few weeks' time. So we're just having a chat with the guys on here about maybe a couple of months' time. The Watt and C generator to go on there as well.
Your best silent crew member.
Best silent, absolutely, yeah.
Doesn't talk back, doesn't eat.
Absolutely, and the best wind steering system available on the planet. So if you think we're crazy setting off on board in our big steel 40-foot pilot house to go and sail around the world, this guy's crazy. Or maybe not. This is Andrew.
Hello.
Andrew is going to go and sail across the Atlantic in this. And I kid you not, in this. Andrew, tell us about yourself and the boat and the project.
Okay, so Big C, it was basically Tom McNally's design. He designed the boat, he started the build on the boat, and what I've done is after his unfortunate untimely death in 2017 from cancer, I've taken on the project, and now what we're doing is we've put this together to break the record for the smallest vessel to cross the Atlantic. So just over 1 metre long. So obviously very different to yourselves. Pretty solid though.
Yeah.
Built like a boy. Designed to take on the ocean and the systems that we're getting out there. It's one hell of a vessel. It's got everything on board. So we've got water desalinators. That's the food. So that's half a day's rations with similar to pemmican. Beef drippings.
How many calories is that?
About 1,400 calories, 1,500 calories in that little unit, in that little bag there.
Amazing.
Yeah, completely self-sufficient. Lock yourself in, get yourself on with it, and.
So, the questions that spring to mind are the ones that you've probably been asked all week. How do you sleep?
Right, so sitting up quite often in bad conditions because I've got a full harness in there.
Yeah.
And then in good conditions I can lay down in the fetal position inside and not stretch out.
and how do you use the loo?
Everyone asks that one.
Yeah.
So in good conditions, over the side.
Right.
In bad conditions, we've got a tube inside to wee, and when it's really rough, I won't be eating much of that, so there ain't going to be a lot coming out.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, but there's no sort of toilet system, black water tank, or any tankage on board.
There is a tiny bladder in there.
Right.
So for close inshore, obviously I don't want to be putting anything to the sea. So we have got a small little bladder in the bottom that we can use. But other than that, no, it's
wow.
Yeah.
That's the nitty gritty stuff.
Yeah.
And then in terms of nav and equipment, I notice you've got a compass.
I have got a compass. I have got.
Have you got a sextant?
Oh, no sextant. No sextant. So nav and comms wise, so we've got chart plotters, obviously smallest chart plotter. Everyone's going for big screens on their boats. We've had to go to the smallest screen for the lowest power usage.
Wow.
So Class B transponder, another separate AAS receiver, fixed VHF, handheld VHF, Iridium solar edge solar, sat phone, Skylink.
So really well equipped.
Yeah.
And what about support crew? You know, various people I've seen commenting on posts have said, well, surely he's got a support boat within half a mile of him at all times. Is that the case, or are you by yourself out there?
No. The trouble is, it's going to be minimum 60 days, realistically 90 plus days. Thing is, I've got to then put someone else in risk. So I've got to worry about myself. I don't want to have to worry about another crew that are out there. So, and also all the previous records have been without an assistant. So, and you know what, if I've got a vessel that's half a mile away, someone and people will say, oh, do you know what, I bet he has a nice hot drink at the end of the day and in the morning.
Of course.
If there's not one there, can't do it. And it is literally those desalinator pump away. So
and your cruising speeds?
I thought you were saying your crew.
No, crew. We've got 4-deck crew. Some sheep trimmers.
Grinders, the lot.
So your cruising speed, would you say about 3 knots?
Oh, a little bit less than that. 2.5. 2.5. Yeah, cruising speed's 2.5. So, but the thing is, she will do it.
This is Big C. And here is the inside. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely tiny. And you can lie down in the fetal position in there.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah, I can get into the fetal
I'd cramp up and wouldn't be able to move.
Yeah, well, there's a look.
Fortunately, we've got these, so it's not too bad.
Both worlds. Go on then. As long as you don't stand on anything
I won't stand on anything red.
No, that's it.
Where's the steering system on this?
So it's called the sheets because they override the rudders by a long way.
And you literally just sit in the bottom here.
So your elbows go into here.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so, well, you might want to put them forward and back, that's it.
Cool.
You're just fractionally higher than me.
Yeah.
So, see? Comfort.
Wow.
So, what you've got is your 2 sheets.
Yeah, okay,
So
I see.
those. Go on then, pull those.
So that's your...
yeah, pull it. Pull both.
Pull them both?
Yeah, 2.
So out come your head sails, and you're flying wing on wing most of the time?
Yep.
Downwind. You're a downwind sailor. And then to reef those away,
so you've got
this
that,
one,
which has got quite a lot of friction in it because we've moved something and it's actually the line's too tight.
Yeah, I'm with you. There is a good.
But do you know what? I also actually need a bit of exercise, so that's why I put it on to make it so that I have to do things. So all too easy because it makes it.
Of course, and how about muscle wastage? 90 days sitting in this position, you're going to really be in trouble if you don't move some.
Yeah. So on the bad condition days, I will be in there, and I've got a full harness behind you that I can harness myself in.
Yeah.
So on those days, yes, there's not a lot I can do.
No.
But over the whole entire passage, we're anticipating and going back through the last 20 odd years of data. It's about 20 days that we'd expect to have to stay inside for. But obviously, hopefully, not all 20 days in one go.
Right.
Wow. And then when the conditions are good, I can stand up. I can do some little exercises when it's up, and then I have got a little hammock that fits across this frame here.
Okay.
So I can stretch out, which is my luxury item.
I see.
Yes.
So you can,
in a crazy way, it does make sense.
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
I'm full of admiration, and I'm full of admiration. I think it's a wonderful thing to do, and I'm slightly jealous, but.
But not that.
No, I'm kind of jealous. I kind of wouldn't mind a go myself, but anybody that sails across oceans or aspires to is a little bit unhinged anyway.
Yes, yeah. But the one thing with it is she's solid
mega
gold,
strong, isn't she?
She's fiberglass with a foam core on it.
And presumably these tanks at the side, they're all ballast tanks, so you can shut those off. It's unsinkable.
There's 12 separate compartments on a metre vessel. 12 separate compartments, and that's not including the main compartment. So it's 13.
That's right. Yeah. So you, for all intents and purposes, it's unsinkable.
Yeah. Every vessel out there is almost sinkable at some point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, it is sinkable at some point, but it's just diminishing diminishing the amounts of chances.
Of course,
there's 2 tanks here. These are only effectively for the show, but so they'll be completely sealed off. They've joins there, and then even.
And do you use these for storage or just ballast?
No, we will be using them for storage as well, but they are going to be the real non-essential things. And what we do is, as soon as we can, we will be emptying these. The first food that we use will be from these.
Sure.
So obviously we will be setting off with what we're looking for is a week's long weather window to get offshore.
Yeah.
And that is we'll start using that week's worth of food out of these. What we want to do is we want to get everything internal. So as soon as we can, we'll have these free, and then
then you've got your ballast and your buoyancy, and you've got your stability all sorted. Yeah. So how can people follow you? This is the big thing.
Right. So to follow us, what you can do is they can go onto Facebook, Big C, as in the capital C, letter C, Atlantic Challenge. Instagram's my name, Andrew Bedwell, and if not, just type in Big C Atlantic Challenge on Google, and it'll come up almost everywhere.
Fantastic. And when are you going? When's your date?
Mid-May next year is the time, and that's leaving from St John's, Newfoundland, and then heading back over to the UK.
Right, so you're coming this direction, North Atlantic.
Well, the thing with it is the current record is that route. The current record's unsupported, and actually I was speaking to Hugo, who's current record holder now, and he's given us loads of help and things like that, which is brilliant. And so we want to make it so that it's a like-for-like thing.
Yes.
And also, it's like a metaphorically thing. We want to bring the record back to the UK, so it all just makes sense.
Fantastic.
So, brilliant.
Absolutely amazing.
Good luck with all yours as well.
Thank you very much.
We're all on dreams and making things happen.
Absolutely,
yeah. And all we
absolutely.
want.
Ours is on a big scale, and ironically, yours is on a bigger scale. There you go. Follow this guy. Us away from the Hallberg Rassi stand, I'm afraid. We're going to have a look at the Hallberg Rassi 50 this time. All of these crazy challenges that you get, the people are all incredibly well prepared. Like Andrew over there on Big C, really well prepared, really sorted little boat, and you might look at it and think that's absolutely insane. But when you look at the quality of the little boat he's doing it in and the way that he's prepared to do it, it's incredible. And I'm going to take you now and show you, we'll meet up with another guy who's doing a challenge. Big C's going across the Atlantic. This guy is going around the world, trade wind route. So let's go and have a look at his boat and what's unique about his challenge. Only joking, nobody's going around the world in this, but I walked past it and thought it was cute as a button, so I had to show you. So this here is a very, very special boat, and this is the owner, and we're just going to meet him and he'll explain to you what's going on with this project. So this is Will. Nice to meet you, Will.
Nice.
I'm going to come aboard for a little tour in a minute, but Will, tell us what you're actually doing and what's unique about the project.
So I'm getting this boat ready to sail non-stop around the world without any fossil fuels on board.
Amazing.
Which no one has ever done.
Really? That is literally a world first?
Yeah, it's a world first. People have done it with fossil fuels on board but not using them, but nobody's ever done it without any on board.
Okay. So you're fully kitted out with everything that you can imagine?
I'm not at the moment, but I will be.
Right, okay. Let's have a little tour of the boat then.
So the boat is a Freya's 45.
Freya 45?
Yeah, Cal Marine Freya's 45.
Okay.
And she's started her life as an IOR in America.
Yeah.
Designed by Freya's, built by Cal Marine.
Yeah.
And then over her lifetime, she's changed her layout, changed her setup.
Yeah.
And she's completed OS stars, 2 stars, Fastnets, transatlantics.
Sure.
All the sort of big stuff that's going around the Southern Ocean.
Yeah.
And so she's got quite a history.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I took her on in March this year, and we're slowly going through refit, slowly getting stuff ready.
Right. I mean, she looks pretty sorted anyway. With the racing pedigree, you know, she's obviously come with a lot of kit. How much of this have you added?
Quite a lot, actually. So the winches and everything came with her.
Right,
so we've got some seriously powerful winches.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I put a whole new rig on, standing rigging, and I've put running rigging on.
Yeah.
And then the bowsprit is a new addition as well.
Fantastic.
We've also, when we've done the rigging, the forestay, which we can have a look at in a moment.
Yeah.
We put a new one of those on, and we've looked at the racing option on that and lifting it up for oceans. So it's actually sitting a lot higher on deck than you would expect normally.
Yeah. So you've got a higher clue.
Yeah.
And you've got more visibility.
More visibility under the sail, but also it means that the sail isn't rubbing against the sort of guardrails, and it isn't dipping in the water when we're heeled over. Yeah,
which is going to improve longevity and give you a better chance of success.
Put less pressure on the mast.
Fantastic. Yes, of course. Yeah. So slightly less power, but slightly more.
Slightly less power, but a lot more reliable. That's the wheel. I don't know if you can see, but down the back of the boat, and you might be able to see this from off board a little bit better.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 Remoran wave frees.
Right.
These generate electricity, so these drop in the water and generate electricity as we're sailing along. And at about 10 knots, they'll generate 300 watts each.
300 watts at 10 knots?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And they're on independent systems, so if one of them fails, we've still got one working, and we're not relying on.
Okay, yeah. Very similar to the Watt and See that Hydrovane do. Last time I saw a wheel this big was at the slate quarry in Llanberis.
So this is quite good, and it's quite a nice way to steer the boat, because you don't have to run around to get to steering wheels.
Yeah.
And you can sit either side with keeping control of the boat.
Yeah.
So I quite like it. It also gives me more protection.
Of course, yeah.
So when I'm up here doing stuff on the winches, if I get knocked off my feet, there's something to stop me falling out the back of the boat.
Of course.
And then we're going to have solar on the deck. It's not quite there yet, but we'll also have solar on the deck. So we're looking at putting 1,000 watts of solar, 1,000 plus watts. I think we're going to get up to about 1.1 kilowatts on the deck now.
Fantastic.
Of solar, which we'll put in, and then in time as well, we'll have 2 e-propulsion drive pods underneath. Which will also then be able to regenerate as well. So that'll give me 2 drives, which will also mean the sailboat will then operate like a motorboat.
Right.
When it goes close work in the marina.
Yeah, you can actually steer.
I can actually steer the boat and manoeuvre the boat easily. Yeah,
which is often tricky with boats.
Absolutely, because we don't have a bow thruster on here.
Yeah, of course. Although she's a fin keel, so she should turn better than a long keel.
She does. She turns better than a long keel.
Yeah,
but she's still not great all the time. If a wind catches her, she goes, "I want to go the way the wind wants me to go, not where you want me to go."
Yeah.
Being a racing boat, we don't tend to hide lines away.
Oh no, it's exactly how I would do it.
Yeah. So we can access every single line on this boat.
Rod rigging.
Oh,
cool. Tell me about the rod rigging. What's your decision making there?
Well, she was designed with rod rigging to start with.
Okay.
So that helps. A lot of people sort of said to me when we were putting it on, like, are you going to change it to non-rod? Are you going to just
Dyneema?
Dyneema and all of that. Rod rigging's more durable.
Well,
it lasts longer.
Yeah, there is that.
It lasts longer. It's more durable. If you've got shackles rubbing against it and you don't realise for long periods, one, you can hear it more.
Yeah.
But also it doesn't take anything off on the sort of strands and everything, so
absolutely.
you don't actually cause the damage.
And you're not going to be tweaking and tuning it all the while.
No, absolutely. No, not as much. Doesn't stretch as much. Doesn't change all the time. And then all the lines are running back, so everything runs back to the cockpit.
Yeah.
And we've got a beautiful model down there showing that. And then we're going to change the boom on this to make it single line reefing, so all the reefing will go back, so I won't have to come forward to mast to do reefing or anything like that. Yeah,
which again makes sense to bring everything back to the cockpit as far as possible.
Yeah, so we're then also, please ignore the repair work. So got about, it says, this is the Admiral furler I was talking about, which has been lifted. As you can see, it's considerably higher than a lot of furlers. And this means that actually my bottom of my sail is actually above my guardrail.
Yeah.
So it means it gives that protection. I'm not rubbing that on here all the time, catching things,
absolutely.
catching the back of a sail and I'm not realising it on something rough on the guardrail.
Sure.
So, and that also means when I'm heeled over, I'm not down in it's not dipping in the water. It's not putting that pressure on the water. Mm-hmm. A bowsprit to push my tack out on my asymmetric and my code 0.
Yeah.
And that makes my life easier. And they're going to go furling as well.
Okay, so it makes sense.
Yeah, they're going to have, I think it's a unibrow.
Are you going to have, by the look of it, you're not going to have an extendable pole that extends out further?
No, this is it. This is as maximum we're going to put on it. It doesn't need to get out enough, it just needs to keep that tack clear, basically, to make my life easy.
Of course, yeah.
And then that's going to have a furling. That furling system's going to be ratcheted. So it means that if I furl it in, unlike some of the other systems, it won't unravel. It's locked in place.
Yeah.
So you
it
basically
can't unwrap itself in a blow.
It can't unwrap itself. So if it's going to be a blow, a squall comes across, I can furl that up, leave it there, and then once that's passed through, I can unfurl it again. And I'm not having to come
just release the ratchet on it.
And release the ratchet and unfurl it again. I don't have to come to the foredeck all the time to be dropping and putting sails back up just to make sure they're okay.
Amazing.
So and I'm only going to be running a code 0 and asymmetric. I'm not running a symmetrical spinnaker.
It's too much hassle.
Too many lines to go on. However, I will be running a whisper pole to push out my Genoa.
Of course, and you can run wing on wind when you need to then.
So if I want to go dead downwind, I can run it dead downwind.
Yeah, amazing. Wow, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
What an incredible thing to do. And how do we follow you?
You can follow me, it's Will Croxford Sailing on Instagram. That's probably the best.
Will Croxford?
Yeah,
Will Croxford Sailing.
On Instagram, and that's probably the best place. Everything goes onto there.
Brilliant.
And come along again and when we're doing the electric conversion and all of that and putting the pods in and have a look at the system and how it's going in.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, thank you.
Cheers, take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
We're all a little weird, and life is a little weird, and when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours, we join up with them and fall into mutually satisfying weirdness, and call it love, true love.
vows not as promises but as privileges. I get to work with you towards our ambitions and dreams. I get to journey through this world in life with you, creating a whole new set of memories that will last forever. I get to laugh with you and cry with you, care for you and share with you. I get to walk with you and sail with you, climb with you and sit in stillness with you, build with you and live with you. For that, I can't help but feel privileged and honoured and lucky beyond words to take you to be my wife.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you that have contributed towards our lithium and solar on our wedding gift list. We are absolutely blown away by your support and cannot thank you all enough. If you'd like to take a look at the list, we've included the link below.